Good afternoon and welcome to this live coverage of the EUF Summer Tour here in Warsawa, Poland 2024. We have a exciting matchup for you today between Steamhuck from Turkey and the local team from Warsaw, Skydisk. My name is Benjamin Ort. I will be commentating for you today, and I'm very excited to bring this action to you. We got plenty of games this weekend to showcase European Ultimate. The summer tour events are held across Europe, and there's live streaming opportunities at I believe every location except Leicester, with commentators from all over Europe. And this weekend is one of my first weekend as a commentator. I've had my fair share of playing Ultimate myself. You might know the team Gut that has been dominating the mixed division for a good amount of time, and I was happy to be a part of that program. Now that team has split up in open and women's division teams respectively. And yeah, so I've quite aware with the mixed scene, and so I'm very excited to see these two teams match up. I personally haven't played both of these teams myself, I believe. Definitely Steamhuck, not a very known team maybe in the European scene. Team from Turkey, a very rising ultimate frisbee community. Lovely to see their presence at this tournament. It's not the only Turkish team actually playing this weekend. Zoom Ultimate also still, I believe, at another summer tour playing in the mixed division as well. So exciting to see as we are about to get going with Skydisk in the turquoise blue taking on Steamhuck from Turkey in the white. Steamhuck starting on offense. I will do my best to try to incorporate the player names as much as possible and work on my pronunciation as well. But please forgive me if my pronunciation is not on point, perhaps. So we see an early turnover giving an opportunity to Skydisk. Moving it up the field. To Deskur. Swings it to Sanicic. Back to Deskur. Forward to the middle now. And into the end zone to Vlasenko. Early start for the Polish side. Day one of this two-day competition here in Poland. In the mixed division, there's 11 teams. If we have another look, defender maybe slightly overcommitting on that in cut. That opens up the backhand to the end zone. Yeah, so this tournament, 11 teams in the mixed division. So two pools, one of 5, one of 6. This is the pool A. Both these teams already played 3 games today. Skydisk going 2-1, Steamhuck going 1-2. So sort of in the pack of this pool so far. As of now, we got Mosquitoes leading the pool, going 3-0. Savage in second, also from Poland, and then on the bottom 2, it's KS Flow from Wrocław and Heroes Flying Disc from Budapest. So nice combination of the Polish and Austrian and Turkish, Hungarian teams. There's a nice save from Chan. It's called down. It's a low disc. And now Skydisk also retracts that call. Just wanted to make sure it was definitely a close one, so definitely not unreasonable. And now it's Emre Can, who has been leading this team. Clearly seen in the stats. Very assertive, left-handed, all-around player. Has a nice run-through block. Skydisk starting off hot. Maslanka picks up, looks for the round, doesn't get it, then takes it the second time of asking to Descour. Goes for the inside shot. Again, a bit hesitant on that reset. Now finds a nice inside shot back. Goes with the round backhand to 99. That's Gadus. Goes up the line, jumps it in. Wonderful start for Skydisk. As Steamhuck immediately takes a timeout. We'll be back in a minute, so we'll take a quick break. See you in a bit.
Yes, he will. The lovely did.
And we are back in the action. Thanks to Force Ultimate. Quick word from our sponsor. Making sure this stream is possible. I hope you're enjoying the stream from wherever you're watching. Make sure to let me know what you think. You can hit me up on Instagram. That's at Benjamin Ort. It's Benjamin OORT. If you have any questions or feedback or wanted to shout out a couple people, feel free to reach out to me. And I'm hoping you're enjoying the action. Steamhuck will try to settle themselves back into this game after a shaky start. Going down 2-0. Chan wanting the undercut. Now gets it. Nice inside shot. Under pressure. Zadil couldn't hang on. Skydisk. Nice one-handed grab. Gives and goes. Looks for the hammer. Doesn't take it. Now goes for the offhand backhand. Like to see that. Quick movement from the front of the stack. Female matching players dominating the field right now. Always good to see in the mixed division. Dumping, swinging, and that's a lovely way to finish it off. Skydisk really on point so far. Being relentless with the chances that they've been given. They seem to be in control. They had a pretty good day today. They started off against KS Flow from Wrocław with a 12-9 win, and they had a rough game against Mosquitoes from Klosterneuburg, Vienna. Klosterneuburg, Austria, I should say, but Klosterneuburg is very close to Vienna. 14-5, they lost that game, and they just managed to win against Heroes Flying Disc. So definitely some good results. And to give you an idea of what's on the line here, please have a look if you haven't, or if you're not familiar yet, please go to the ranking page, because that's at the end of the day where it's all coming down to. So that's ranking.ultimatefederation.eu, where you can see all the teams that participate in the EUCS. With the end goal, of course, being to qualify for the EUCF, the European Championship for Club Teams, later in September. Both these teams are not yet in a qualifying position, but this weekend you can still change that. And both teams will be looking to do that. As they move it up the field. Can Steamhuck find their rhythm? They look deep to the end zone. It's low, picked up. Let's see if Skydis can now be as clinical as they have been all game. Nice one-handed grab. Now goes back to the dump. Another nice one-handed grab. Goes inside, slightly behind, but it's still good. Another one-handed grab. Really sticky fingers from Skydis all around. Nice upline cut. Approaching the end zone. Gives, goes, doesn't get back. Another upline cut, cuts back. Really patient and systematic offense here from Skydisc. It's good to see. Round swinging the disc to the other side of the field. Couple strides outside of the end zone. Oh, slight miscue between, I think that's Waszkiewicz. The shirt says Rashka. As now it's another chance. Miscue on the reset. Skydisc with another shot. This time they jump it in. So both these teams are still eligible or have a good shot of or have a shot of making the ECF. We have Skydisc, second position right now in the rankings. Steamhuck in 25th. As I said, there's only 16 teams going to the EUCF, and you might ask, like, is it only the top 16 teams? Well, yes and no. Actually, it's not, because it's the teams that are ranked 1 through 16 that go to the EUCS, the ECF. It's the first 12 that will get a straight bid to the EUCF. Those final 4 bids can go to those 13 to 16 spot, but the goal, part of the goal for this summer tour, is that the winner of each summer tour can get a wild card. Now, this does not require you to be in a top 16 ranking position, meaning that if either one of these teams win this tournament, as Steamhuck tries to huck it deep, let's see if they can get on the scoreboard. Yes, they can. Nice two-handed grab from Yakai. Perfect position, went up early. Nothing the defender could do. So my point being was, if either one of these teams win this tournament, they might not have enough ranking points to get into the top 16 positions, but by their wild card, they'll still qualify for the ECF. And so those 12 to, or those 13 to 16th positions are not very much safe, to say the least, because in a way your bid can be stolen, quote unquote, by a lower seed team. I hope that all makes sense. I know it can be confusing. If it doesn't make sense, please have a look at the website. Everything is explained there as well, how the rhythm works, the matchup tabs, all the team results, the predicted scores that are given for all the games. Lots of fun, lots of things to play with, so definitely check that out. Also, there is a podcast hosted by Ravi Vasudevan, one of the centerpieces of installing this new algorithm into the European ultimate scene. We'll be doing a podcast tonight. I think at 8:30 live from Heilbronn, which is where another summer tour is, where he's commentating in the Open Division to give a um, a preview of the final, so the final rankings, because the final rankings will be made on Monday after tomorrow's games results are also in. But I'll make a little pre-run, get an idea. Skydisc first pass straight deep, and that's a hole in one, as you could say. Maybe these two players, number 63, used to be a golfer, but maybe never managed to get a hole in one, so he picked up Ultimate so he could get it a bit more easily. This time, lovely connection to Madic. Skydisc takes a commanding lead, 5-1. So both these teams, as I said, lots still to play for this season. Skydisc with a slightly better ranking heading into the tournament, but it seems like they are actually quite a bit better than their ranking might suggest, with the results that they've shown so far, and also the commanding lead they take this game. The expected score for this game is a 15 to 13.7 win. So that's the algorithm predicting how good both these teams are and compared to each other. And that's the interesting thing about this algorithm, that most of your points will be based on purely how far you're off from that expected score. That's most of what the points is based on. So yes, you want to win, and that's worth something. But let's say if Skydisc only won by one, so let's say 15-14, then they would still go down in their ranking because they are supposed, quote unquote, or expected to beat Steamhuck by at least 2. So if you're Steamhuck, you're still definitely not out of it yet. Obviously, it's still very early in the game, but you just want to try to stay as close as possible to Skydisc at this point. As for Skydisc, of course, you want to score as many points as possible, and every point which is more than Steamhuck, it's going to help you in that ranking. As Steamhuck is struggling with their resets, as Skydisc goes deep right away, Emre Can kind of gave up on that. He's being guarded quite well, Emre Can is, but I would like to see him be a bit more assertive in his reset cutting. He's quite he's obviously very much capable of making good cuts. He's been dominating this stat sheet for the Turkish side all tournament. But I don't think he's making it very easy on his throwers to throw him open. So I'd like to see him attack that upline space a bit more and then cut back, rather than sort of wait for a thrower-initiated pass to the back, which seems to be his plan at this point. So Skydisc players figuring out what the gender ratio for this point should be. UF using the ABBA gender ratio pulling rule. Making sure that female matching players and male matching players are equally represented on the field throughout the whole game. That goes both for playing, but also for pulling. So as you can see right now, it's a female matching player pulling because there's 4 female matching players on the field at this point. Let's see if Steamhuck can find some sort of rhythm. They're trying to go for a dominator, meaning that there's a couple handler players trying to work it up the field with give and go movements. So far it's been working quite well. Chan goes for the inside. Nice find. Pick is called. Not sure if it affected this play. Players seem to be discussing that as we speak. It did not, so we are ready to go back into the action. We're on the doorstep now. Chan gets this back. Nice leading pass. What a grab! It looked good out of the hand, but it was slightly too far. But Descour, oh no, Yakai, I'm sorry, Yakai um, made up for it big time. Full horizontal, look at that, full stretch. What a take that was. And hopefully that can give Steamhuck some motivation and some momentum going into these next few points. Let's get the D-line back out there and start working. Steamhuck bringing a small roster to this tournament, only 16 roster players. So could also be a reason for maybe the lack of focus in the beginning of this game. Maybe just the fatigue starting to play a role at this point. But they'll try to get right back into this game. So we have the Sky Disc all line back out there. Nice one-handed grab. I feel like I've been saying that all game, but it's been true because they have so many good ones. Shot deep to the end zone. That's perfectly weighted. What a nice shot. It's number 16 Madic with a lovely shot to the end zone. Just sits it out there. We're back in action. Chan for the Turkish side. Again, that reset is definitely a struggle for this team so far. Now they seem to find some movement. Really isolating these handlers. Not using the cutters at all. They do have a nice swing to the break side now. Halfway. Now they start to use the cutters as well. Coming underneath is Yakai again with that wonderful layout grab just before. Nice one-handed snack from Chan. Sets it up. Space to Zaman. Goes to the end zone. Nice hold. And this is more the Steamhuck that we might come to expect to see at this tournament and at this level as well. I mean, these teams are fighting for a chance to be in the top 16 teams of Europe, so they want to be held to a certain standard. It's going to be interesting to see the initial updated ranking tonight. Uh, I like that the EF has decided to do it mid tournament already, so we can shake things up a little bit and maybe motivate some teams to put in some more work. Maybe teams that are slightly on the edge, and then they'll know using the matchup tab on the app how much they need to beat their opponents tomorrow. So we got a nice inside flick, continuing up that break side, big backhand fake, goes around, inside shot again wide open, cutters all around, clears up the line, fills the space back up, gives, goes, doesn't get it back. They go around, toes it in. What a lovely hold for this Sky Disc team. Really found a rhythm and seems to have settled down in their playing. That's a round shot, towed in perfectly. As Sky Disc takes half, we'll have a quick break, a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back when the action resumes. And we are back in the second half. As Sky Disc gets the famous 2-for-1, meaning you have a clean hold before the end of the first half, and then the second half you get another offensive possession. So pretty much getting a free all-in possession as they find wide open receiver in the back of the end zone for another easy hold. And I like the celebration. Team number 63 and 32, I believe. It's Lidwinski with the assist, tall figure, to Zarjakowska, number 32. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. If not, I apologize. Good celebration, always good to see. So it'll be interesting to see this weekend how much really the effect of these last few games are to the ranking. Because obviously these teams have all played, or most of them have already played, like over most teams played over 6, 7, 8 games more, and so you have to think about that. Your algorithm is already predicting a kind of ranking for you, and sure, every game is going to add to that ranking, but it's going to have a smaller impact, obviously, if you are going to play 12 games or something. Then one more game is not going to influence your ranking that much more. Whereas if you only have 2 games, the third game is really going to be a very high influence of your ranking. As we see, Steamhuck, a very quick hold. Steamhuck, one of the teams that have not had many games in the ranking system yet, only 4. And also, their connectivity is not optimal for the ranking system so far. It's been only against other Turkish teams. And actually, they played 4 games, and 3 of those games were against the same opponent. So this game for them, actually, it's probably going to change quite a bit because now they'll get more connectivity with other teams, meaning that every game that any team plays against any opponent is gonna it's it's gonna influence your ranking. So in the beginning of the season, when there was only a couple tournaments, it's quite hard to really measure how good a team that plays in tournament A compares to another team that plays in because they all played against different opponents. All those teams that play in tournament A, B, and C will meet at other tournaments and meet each other there and activity so that you can compare the results from this one group of teams that played at a tournament to another group of teams that played another tournament. And so for the ranking algorithm, the more games that are played, the better or the more accurate this game will be. Again, if you have any questions about the ranking, I'm probably not the perfect person to ask that. You should definitely night the EUF Live website to go to in and out. That one definitely in for the score. Skydisk really finds a groove. So maybe the start was maybe not too representative because I feel like Steamhuck definitely had to get their heads back into this game to start off. But now that they have, it's actually been good ultimate to watch, and both O lines playing good ultimate now. So let's see if either one of these D lines can spice it up a bit and put some more pressure to force some turnovers. Meanwhile, on the other fields, we have Savage just beaten Flow 15 to 8. And Mosquitoes is leading Heroes Flying Disc 13 to 8. But that game is still ongoing. Interesting to see how this pool will turn out as we see the Steamhuck offense back on the field. It's this handler trio for the Turkish that have been very, very successful. Nice one-handed grab. That's Yakal going with the deep shot and another good box out. That's Zaman, I believe. So far, Idil Yakai. Sorry, I'm sorry if I'm butchering these pronunciations. I'm really doing my best, but what I was trying to say is that I'm very impressed with her playing. Nice catch under pressure. Those are not easy. And then with a lovely hug into space, on the right side of the defender as well. I feel like that is such an underrated skill that usually doesn't go highlighted. If she puts that disc to the right side of the end zone, which is where maybe more of that's maybe the more obvious space to put it, as it's the open side, it would actually be more difficult to catch that disc because then it will just become a foot race between Zaman and his defender to that spot. The way that she put it with a slight outside in angle, going slightly towards the left middle-ish part of the end zone, which is actually where Zaman has the advantage because his defender is on the right side of him, on his right shoulder. So he was able to position himself perfectly, let the disc go over the defender's head, and catch it on the other side. So, yeah, she had a lovely sequence there, and obviously she had that wonderful layout catch in the end zone earlier this game. A Sky Disc wastes no time with this possession. That's another dime. Sky Disc really on a roll now. It's Madic again. So I believe that she was the one with that lovely flick huck earlier that game. So now returning the favor, maybe. Yeah, it was earlier a lovely huck to Litvinsky, I believe. And now it was Christoph Root. A perfect shot to the end zone. So it's going to become a pretty high-scoring game. Thinking that on the other side, it's Mosquitoes Heroes. It's 13-8, but that game started about half an hour earlier than this game has. And right now it's 11-5. So there were some delays on this field with the previous game. So the next game will also be starting a bit later. That will be Pelt taking on Tartu Turbulence, which is probably going to be a very important game in the second pool. Probably just going to determine the first place of that pool. So definitely check that out. I'll be commentating there as well. But now we're back in the action. Very powerful pull. Will it stay in bounds? Ooh, questionable, but they caught it. So no one will ever think about that again. Initiation from the front of the stack, I believe. Nice catch under pressure. Continuing on, it just goes through the hand. I think that's the commentator's curse, as they say. So I was praising up Yakai the previous point. She has an unfortunate drop. And now, yeah, Sky Disc starting to get into their flow again. Little collision in the back. Continuing the flow up this four side. And it's really been the story of this game that both teams actually are playing quite well. I mean, Steamhuck has had a difficult start. And they are still a bit shaky at times, but it's mostly the clinical offense from Skydisc, both on their O-line and their D-line, that has made it incredibly hard for Steamhuck to get back into this game. I mean, they started off hot. I mean, it was 4-0, and at this point, Scott not at some point, at any point, take a step off the pedal. And this is the kind of thing that is going to be very good for your ranking. So Skydisc definitely not in a position now to start to relax. If you're Skydisc, you want to desperately try to beat Steamhuck 15-5, and not 15-6 or 15-7, because every point at this point is going to matter a lot. So yeah, definitely interested to see where Skydisc will end up later on tonight in the first round ranking update. Again, It's not the final update because they'll obviously be after tomorrow's games are finished and some more wild cards are rewarded. Steamhuck going with a deep shot. It's nicely angled and well taken, and that's a nice shot. Same target. Can't teach tall, but it's not just his size; it's also the way he positions himself. And I was also talking about that the previous point. It's the angle of the disc as well, because you can see if that disc towards that left cone, both players pretty much have the same chance of getting that. But because it's angled sort of over the defender, that's what's making it very difficult to read for that defense. And nicely taken from Steamhuck, but it's now that the D line really needs to get to work to get them back into this game. We see the Steamhuck players taking a seat on the sideline. It's quite hot this day in Warsaw, and it's the fourth game of the day. So, yes, I think that's probably maybe the number one reason why Skydisk has the advantage. Not just their clinicalness, but also they just seem to be in slightly better shape at this point, which is maybe the home court advantage. Not having to travel is definitely helpful, and having those extra legs on a hot day like this is gonna be paying dividend at the end of those days. Stay swinging it back to the middle, losing yardage, but gaining position in some ways to attack the other side of the field. Nice cut from the front of the stack. Another cut from the front of the stack. Doesn't take it. Clears up the line. Fills up beautifully the space. And another cut from the front of the end zone, from the stack, and continuing. Skydisk really putting it on a platter for their receivers. Not really giving Steamhuck many chances of getting blocks as well. It's not that Steamhuck is playing bad defense, but Skydisk is very precise, and it's good to see the level coming out of these Polish teams. We're back as these teams are taking some water. You see the sideline support, number 50. Always good to see the youngsters involved, trying to help the team with some cold on their backs. So, Steamhuck, as I said before, played a couple of friendly matches, Zoom Ultimate, losing them both 7-8 and 6-8 respectively. So quite low scoring games. And then against Fireball Ultimate, also from Turkey, a Turkish nationals. And then they lost at Turkish nationals against to Zoom Ultimate 8-12. So this first time this season they're taking on international competition, which is wonderful to see coming out of Turkey. Meanwhile, Skydisk has attended a spring tour in Malmö, Sweden, where they won most of their games, only losing to Pelt, which is also at this tournament. Pelt fighting for that number one spot in the pool later tonight. The Steamhuck go deep. It's angled. It's slightly too low. He tried to catch it with his legs, but it already touched the ground at that point. Let's see if Skydisk can take advantage again. I'll be curious. I didn't keep the stats that closely, but I think Skydisk has only really turned it once, maybe twice, but really, really seldom they turn it. And especially on those break chances, it's devastating as an O-liner. I've been there myself many times. That you're already tired from playing offense, and then you have to chase a very motivated D-line if they just don't give you any chances to get inside. Oh, that's a lovely flick inside mark to make it 14-6. We have another look. So you see the marks. Let it step off. Just goes. Normally you would go for a backhand there, but I like that she went with her intuition and just went for the flick. This weekend, plenty of action. Plenty of games on coverage here, brought to you by the EUF, Solid Sports. Many commentators from all across Europe. So definitely make sure to keep following the action, because this is maybe, well, I guess it's probably the most exciting, in a way, weekend of the year, especially for those sort of 10th to 20th position teams that are still fighting for those spots. Obviously, the EUCF is going to be the most exciting because it's going to crown the European champions in all three divisions. But this is definitely up there as a very, very interesting weekend. So we see an unfortunate first throw turnover, giving Skydisk an opportunity to put this game to bed. Nice push pass, sort of back around, and that's maybe another commentator curse, just as I say how clinical and turnover free Skydisk has been. They turn it over as Steamhuck goes deep the other way. There's a couple players underneath it. What a take! There's a lot of contact on the back. Let's see. He went up early. It's Descour taking position, going up early, taking it high, but as he comes down, his arm hits the head of the Steamhuck player. Steamhuck player maybe thinking about a foul, but maybe realizing that there was no way he's going to get that disc. So So yeah, good spirit all around. I think that's the right solution as they go deep. They're on the edge of the end zone right now, taking it calmly and into the end zone. And the disc will go back all the way, I believe, because there has been a travel called. I could not see what happened in that specific situation, but the disc will go back.
Ej, dajemy chłopakom popracować! Benek, Maślak pracują!
As it was again, it won't count, but it was Madic again with an assist. It's definitely been a very impressive player on this Polish team. Lovely to see her play in this match. Very assertive, handling, very steady with the disc. As they go for the hammer, they want to end it in style, and they do. What a way to end this game. Actually, it turned out to be a very quick game. Started off a bit delayed, but both teams making quick work out of it. So we have another look at that game-winning score. Lovely to see both teams shake hands on what has been a very exciting game. Sky will be very, very, very happy to end the day in this manner, and we'll be very much looking forward to in and out later this evening to see how this will have affect their ranking. Steamhuck definitely got some lessons to take, but has played very good ultimate at times. But maybe mostly a good learning experience for them this game, and they will probably be using that rest that is waiting for them this evening very well, as they have a small roster here. Anyways, it's been very good seeing these teams battle for the last few bits here that get a ticket to the EUCF. Make sure to stay tuned for one more game later tonight, as we have Tartu taking on Pelt later on this field. So yeah, stay tuned and catch you on the next one.